another story though, the commodity area that faded a little bit more, it's down 15 tally points since the beginning of August, showed some big changes, right? Energy and precious metals were down, but oil and agriculture were up, right?
Yeah. So, I mean, and the biggest contributor really was energy. I mean, I think energy, the commodity sector has really almost lived and died by energy, I would say, with this last recent spurt. We saw it really spike up because we saw energy kind of, I would say, as we were coming out of the pandemic, you had a lot of travel coming back into play. You had a lot of demand come back, but you didn't see supply come back, right? Because things needed to get back online. So you saw energy spike back up, and that really brought commodities back. On top of that, we have had industrial metals, which we've talked about on here, be strong, and agricultural has been, relatively stable. So that's positive. Precious metals have been the other kind of aspect that has waned a little bit, but precious metals have really been a non-factor, I would say. Most people were really speculating on gold, but it's, for the inflation talk, for a lot of the factors going on right now in the market, it really hasn't come into play as much as I think people were expecting.
Yeah, I really feel, in talking to the normal suspects that might buy gold, that a lot of those folks are looking at Bitcoin and Ethereum and other cryptocurrencies. It's almost like the cryptocurrency world has taken the steam out of what is normally a bounce back sector in rough economic times, which would be precious metals. Anybody who was around in the 70s and the 80s remember the gold bugs, and there were investors that that's all they did, and gold tripled in the 70s and topped out somewhere in the early 80s after the big inflation run. But we're not seeing any of that now. We're seeing inflation without gold moving. It's just commodities are moving, and Bitcoin ran up to 65,000 a unit, down back in the 40s or whatever now. But it's interesting, isn't it? It's a little bit of change. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you definitely see some speculation out there and everything. So it's interesting, and remains to be seen. I think ultimately when we really see inflation go, we'll see what happens. But if maybe gold does make a comeback, who knows?